100 Days of Making Comics, Day 8, September 23rd, 2019. I've written out a little bit because I wanted to do something different than what I've done. The energy may feel a little lower than usual, but this is comics, and this is the mission of my comic, Ransom Notes, in a sense, anyway. Um, I saw something on Instagram that I wanted to read today because it just kind of resonated with me. So I'm just going to read it just how it is on Instagram. It says, on Friday, I received a message from my sister Nicole, who had been contacted by a stranger passing on his condolences for the passing of our father, George Anthony Rimini. We had no idea that he had died a month ago. We weren't aware that he had been sick leading up to his death. A funeral came and went, and none of us knew anything about it. We were not able to say goodbye. This, I'm sorry, it says, he was not able to redeem himself, to ask for forgiveness for his failures and hurts, to become a better man to those of us who couldn't help but love him. If you read my book, you'll know my father and I had a difficult relationship, but I always forgave him with a daughter's painfully endless love and hope. Regardless of his neglect and abuse, I had hoped to one day have some closure. I hoped for him to acknowledge who he had been and what he had done to us as his children. That alone, that alone would have been healing in its own way. We never got that, yet I can't help but grieve. I am angry at myself for crying for someone who didn't ever cry for me. I am angry that I still wanted this man's love. I am angry that the last chapter in our relationship was dictated by Scientology. Scientology took my dad in as a pawn and against me, and likely robbed him of any last ounce of heart that he might have had left in him. I'm angry that Scientology found his personal weak spots and got him on board, not with their beliefs, but with their smear campaign against me. That was his last presence in my life. Knowing that my father, after taking the offer from Scientology to betray me, he wouldn't have thought that he could have ever come back from that in our relationship. If he thought that, though, he would have been wrong. I would have forgiven him as I always did. The little girls inside of my sisters and me will never forgive Scientology for taking away our last chance to have the one thing that we always wanted from our father. And that was for him to say, I'm sorry and I loved you. I'm not a Scientologist. This is back to me now. I'm not a Scientologist. I've never been a Scientologist, but I understand the loss of completing the circuit, good or bad. I understand having the choice of something as simple as growing a beard or as major as doing whatever it takes to save your child's life removed by men. Your relationship with God, whatever that means to you, is secondary to the building that you attend and its elevation. It's what slavery looks like now. Weaponized piety. What's all this have to do with my comic book? I've known that Ransom Notes would be my line in the sand, so to speak. I knew it would be the me and the chained up life that I had lived versus the life that I believe that God wants me and my family to have. And along with that is the healthy spirituality that I think I manifest through my creativity. So as far as Ransom Notes goes, I've decided that I'm going to write this book under the name of Harry Tubman. I don't want to be followed. I don't think that I've built an underground railroad, but I do think that I have a voice that's capable of saying when people aren't safe in a situation that they're in. Not that I'm passing judgment or I'm a therapist or anything like that, but I recognize danger because I lived in it. My family was in danger. A lot of my family still is in danger. So, I want to write the book under the name Harry Tubman to kind of honor that fearless spirit of not getting people to follow me, but getting people to find what their safe space is and getting people to recognize that there are people who just want to keep them from whatever their truth is. So whatever that means, that's where I am with Ransom Notes. I got a lot done today. I'm still working, so I don't even know if I'll get this video posted by midnight, but I'm gonna try. I know that I'm doing the work. I know that I'm holding up 100 Days of Making Comics, and I'm going to judo throw the pressure. I'm going to continue it. I'm going to make my 100 days, and I'm going to do it my way. So stay tuned. I'll be back on here tomorrow, and I'll keep showing you guys some work. If you want to see any of my active work that I'm always doing, check out my Instagram under Fogbreaker Studios. I'm outside and it's starting to rain, and I have a very expensive iPad outside, so I'm done. All right, y'all have a good night.